Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we got a Edmonton Elks signing here as Taylor Powell, former backup quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, is over in Edmonton, and he will be signing there. Now, as of the time of this recording, Rick, do we know the term behind this deal, or is it unknown?
Money-wise, no. Years-wise, he's signed a 2-year deal.
2-year deal for Taylor Powell. So 2 years of Powell behind...
So realistically, it is Powell for Ford, 2 years each, trade swap.
Yeah. No, because, I mean, if you really think about it, Edmonton had finally kind of got to the point where they're like, okay, Trey Ford, it's not working here. If he's ever going to work in the CFL, he's going to need to change the scenery. He goes to Hamilton. Taylor Powell, decent backup, potential as a starter, maybe, unknown. You know what I mean? Just not sure about that. And so with the Elks, they have Cody Fajardo. But Cody Fajardo has expressed interest in potentially retiring soon. Cody Fajardo is not the oldest quarterback in this league. Like, there are plenty of older ones I can think of. Like, especially like your Zach Collaros, your Trevor Harris, who's now 40. Cody Fajardo is 33. Not the youngest guy in the league, but certainly not the oldest. But he's expressed that he's kind of getting near the end. So a guy like Taylor Powell could potentially get an opportunity. Who knows? But at least if Fajardo goes down, I think Powell is a competent enough backup that you could still get some. You could still win games. You know what I mean? As what was your thoughts on Taylor Powell as a backup when he was in the Hammer?
So here's the thing: was except for the first, I want to say, what was it? Bo's first year in 20. No. When did... Give me one second. I have to pull up...
Trying to remember when Bo went over to Hamilton?
No. It wasn't... No, it wasn't that. It was... I'm trying to... No, it was... Yeah, 23. When Bo got injured, what was it? Like, the first...
Oh, we lost Rick. We lost Rick. Hasn't happened in a while. Wait, hold on a second. And Rick, we got you back.
Oh, I didn't even know I was
We just lost you. So if you can repeat what you just said.
Yeah, so it was 2023 where Bo was injured within the first 2 weeks of the season. Taylor Powell played 16 games, 197 yards completion out of 292 passes for 2,283 yards, 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I'm pretty sure that was the... No, we weren't in the playoffs that year. I thought we were. But then he only played a little bit in 2024, and he had 41 of 52, 422 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then last year he only threw 6 for 8. So the difference between the two is Taylor Powell's more of like a pocket passer.
Yeah.
Quarterback, whereas Trey Ford's more of like a dual threat.
Well, and that's where actually I think he's kind of in a similar spot to where Cody Fajardo is. You know what I mean? I think that makes him kind of a similar spot if there is a succession towards a guy like Taylor Powell in the future. It will be kind of the same type of quarterback you have in that situation. So I imagine that Edmonton at some point looks for a potentially a guy in short yardage, unless they decide to run Powell in short yardage. But I'm not sure if they will, because Hamilton didn't last year.
The other thing that's going to be interesting is, so out of his 3 years that he's been with Hamilton, he's only had one really good shot. The other two, not so much.
Yeah.
So he probably had enough being behind Bo, and he's probably thinking, okay, you know what? I'm not going to get much playing time anytime soon. You know, I need to do what's
change
best
the
for
scenery
me and do a change of scenery.
Yeah.
So with Cody Fajardo being 32, turning 33 this year, there was talks in the offseason that it's like, okay, it's either I retire or I resign with Edmonton. At least if, say, Cody Fajardo retires, at least Taylor Powell will be the next man up.
Yes.
Within the next few years.
No, that's true.
So It's going to be interesting with the new changes. Um, in Edmonton, if you see, like, you know how you'd have like a few of those games where it's like, oh, we have X amount of players that where we're either far into the season where we can sit some people, if that's going to be when Powell comes in, or if like the team's really struggling
and they just need
and
to
Powell
try
comes in.
something new, and they
Because
gotta
again,
get
I'm
a
not here to
spark
throw
going.
Cody Fajardo under the bus or anything, but you got to remember last year, Force started the season, Code, and then Fajardo came in halfway through the season.
So you're almost
Is it going to
wondering
be
if this goes
Vince
the other way.
Ray?
Yeah, okay, that's a fair thing. I'm not sure. I think that Fajardo looked pretty good. I'm curious to see with his receiver core with guys like Austin Mack coming in how he'll do. But with Taylor Powell, I think Taylor Powell was actually pretty pleased. Like I think in general he did relatively well. Kind of 2023 was probably when he got his biggest chance where he had 2,283 passing yards, 197 completions on 292 attempts, played 16 games that season, 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So he at least was in the positive in that regard and even got a bit rushing that year. So I'm curious to see how the Elks kind of deploy him. I think he's a very competent backup. So if anything happens to Cody Fajardo, I think Taylor Powell and some of the similarities in his style will help. And I think some of the mentorship that he can get from a guy like Cody Fajardo will be valuable. But I think that's pretty much all I have. Is there anything else that you got there, Rick?
No, sir.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord, where we discuss all things CFL, NHL, and as of recently, the 2026 Olympics in Milan. So check that out. And then also, if you guys are interested in a video talking about the up-to-date rules for the season, 2026 rules, we have a video out, Canadian football. It's actually explained for people mostly familiar with like the NFL, NCAA rules, but also has all the updates for 2026. So make sure you guys check that out. So without further ado, we'll see you guys next time.